Oh, much better. I'm doing gonna be a little dark.
You look good.
What's going on, everyone? This is the Crypto Fix. I'm your man, Ant.
Join Mike here with you guys again another week.
Another week of crypto fun and crypto madness. I hope everyone's having a good weekend, a good week. Also, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell. And also, share the content. I always say, you share the content, we do bigger, better things out here in the streets. I mean, these crypto streets. I apologize. We can do bigger, better things. Mike, how's your week going?
My week's going fantastic, man. It's been a good week. It's been a little slow on the crypto news we were talking, but
Yeah.
there's been some topics, I guess, that have been really booming, which has taken away maybe from the smaller news. Yeah, but it's been a good week. We've had nice weather here in New York where we're at, and some beautiful. Let's just hope that beautiful weather continues.
Oh, definitely. 70s, 80s. Ooh.
New York's a coin toss. You never know what you're gonna get until June. So.
Oh man. So let's jump into the first story. What we have?
Yeah, so the first story is going to be a really big one, and it's pretty much lasted the entire week, well, the weekend. On May 7th, though, Binance had multiple pauses with Bitcoin transactions. So it started with a pause due to them reaching about 400,000 transactions. So they have a first pause, it doesn't last too long, right? And then less than 8 hours later, not even an 8 hour span, same day they have a second pause that lasts for over 2 hours. And people were a bit upset that they weren't able to do their transactions. Yeah. Which rightfully so, right? Of course.
Of course, I can't withdraw Bitcoin. What's going on, Binance?
Yes.
And what you were saying, and people also tell us that Bitcoin went down in price.
Yeah. So
if you want to correlate what happened with Binance, you can't withdraw. So Bitcoin dropped down to what, 27,000?
Yeah, so it dropped down a solid 2.6% in 24 hours, which I mean, for a 24-hour span, 2.6 is a high percentage. I mean, again, people are frustrated. They also Binance increased the transaction fees to resolve this problem, which is really interesting. It almost essentially to me kind of says like, hey, we're having a lot of business going on. We need to up the price.
Yeah.
Which I guess is fair in the market, to be honest with you as well. If you have a lot of business without the employees in place to handle said business, you got to do what you got to do.
Okay, so Binance does, so everything works with Binance. So if there's no more pauses, they're saying that, hey, we did this pause back to back due to high transaction rates was going on our platform. Platform couldn't handle it. So let's bump up the transaction fees to drop the number of people so the platform can run smoothly.
Yeah, I think they realized that first pause wasn't working well for them because they had 400K unconfirmed transactions, and by the time they got to that second pause, 8 hours later, they were at 500,000. So I mean, it skyrocketed. That's 25%. That's 25% increase of transactions, and then 12 hours after they increased the price and resumed, it went down to 430,000. So they did see a decrease in amount of transactions, but yeah, it was just a mess, kind of just a mess of a workload for them.
All right, that's like I said, that was a little late in the news right there. It just slow. No, I mean slow. I won't say slow. It was just over the weekend because two things happened over the weekend. Like, we could touch on later on in the show. We'll touch on the Pepe.
Yeah, the Pepe meme coin. Yeah,
we can touch on that later on in the show, and also, and that's it. It was like a slow week. I know today you mentioned to me that the SEC, I call him Big Gary.
Yeah.
the chairman, Big Gary Gensler.
They're having a bit of problems with BitREx, which we're going to talk about a little bit too. But yeah, there's some big problems there. But one thing I will say that's positive from the situation with the pauses is that they hit a record high unconfirmed transactions, which means the market's active, right? I mean, at the end of the day, if they're hitting breaking records, I mean, I guess that's the positive that you can take away from this, right?
Yeah, people are buying, selling, and trading crypto.
Yeah.
And I know it's a positive.
And things like this are going to require patience, right? When we're learning something brand new in the world, these things are going to take time to develop. They have to get things down. They also talked about potentially maybe working on BTC lighting networks for withdrawals, which would make the transactions a lot more smoother. So we'll have to see how all that plays out. But yeah, people were definitely frustrated about the pauses, and rightfully so. I mean, when you get two pauses in one day,
Yeah.
you would think after that first pause, the maintenance is done, but then you get a second pause that's even longer. It could be a little frustrating, and then, to have your transaction price increase while because you had to wait, kind of does suck, but at the end of the day, just stay patient, I would say, if you are in this situation, and just remember it is a developing market.
Yeah, patience is key in crypto.
Yeah, absolutely.
The patience is key. And, the second story was that.
With Bitrex, yeah, Bitrex was interesting. So this is on April 8th, and I mean, this has been an ongoing thing for the year of 2023. On April 8th, basically, Bitrex has filed for bankruptcy, officially, due to the fact that they're being sued by the SEC. This comes weeks after the SEC has filed a lawsuit against them. So, I mean, to talk about their 2023, they had 80 layoffs in February. And then in March of 2023, they announced that they're leaving the U.S. They're going to shut down all operations in the U.S. And basically, the SEC said, not so fast. We're not just going to let you leave the U.S. So they are still following through. They announced mid-April that they are going to follow through with not only suing Bitrex, but suing their former CEO. And yeah, it's going to be rough.
So you got hit with the fine. The fine was too much because of lack of regulations from the SEC is not giving these crypto platforms. They said, no, we're not going to do business with you no more. We're not going to do business in the United States no more due to these issues.
Yeah.
Now you telling me I'm going to get sued as well, me trying to leave the United States?
Yeah, and I mean, this is an exchange that has over 100,000 creditors and about 500 million to $1 billion of assets invested.
Did he say how much the SEC is suing for?
They didn't clarify that just yet. This is all per source of court filing shared by Rattle Reese. He's a bankruptcy tracker. Just reported all the stats. Again, a 500 mil to $1 billion range. They don't really give us any specifics on the range as well as, you know what I mean? But this is all the U.S. sector. They're saying this isn't affecting the global Bitrex at all, which currently though, right? I mean, the fact that they are suing Bitrex Global as well. They're not just suing Bitrex US, right? They are suing the U.S. CEO, but then they're also suing Bitrex Global. So SEC is jumping down.
It's still cracking down, even though we got all these issues with Coinbase trying to sue them. Big Gary out here still swinging out here still swinging it. Like I said, that vendetta he has for crypto platforms is strong.
Yeah, and I mean, man, it's a little. I could see it being off-putting, especially for like a lot of new companies trying to work their way in and whatnot. So hopefully we find a way maybe to get the SEC to just
relax,
take a step back. Yeah, take a step back and just relax.
That's when I think that's what's going to happen. I think regulations will have to come in.
Right.
So once you get the 5 regulations, then it becomes an even playing field because there's no set stones of regulations in the United States when it comes to crypto. Because like I said, it goes back to the first thing. What is crypto?
Right.
Is it currency or something else?
Right. And it seems like the SEC is really coming at a lot of different places without even setting these regulations yet. I think really it would benefit both the SEC and cryptocurrency parties to really worry about establishing what, like we said, what is and isn't crypto, what is and isn't the rules against this, that. They got to really establish things because it seems like they're trying to jump to suing, certain companies and everything without really, I would say, having solid ground just yet. We don't know enough yet. We don't have regulations, like you said. So how are we violating regulations on something new when there are no regulations in place?
I always say when technology outpaces the law.
And it sure does. And we've said that time and time again. Technology certainly does outpace the law, and it feels like more and more every year. I think technology is something that is expanding more and more every year as we go.
Okay, so right now this is off topic. We got a writer's strike in Hollywood, and one of the conditions is that they cannot use Chat GPT to write any TV shows or movies.
Wow.
I mean, it's a little off topic, but this is
it's
how
still
we're
critical.
going right now
It's
because
the world, yeah. I mean, it stays on the topic in regard of, I guess, like expansion of the world as a whole, you know. But yeah, I mean, that's absolutely insane. I actually did not hear about that. So that's a bit wild. Like you said, you were talking earlier too about the car that was sold with crypto.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into that.
Yeah,
we're gonna get into that. So people, let us know, what are you willing to sell just to get some Bitcoin or any type of crypto? Like, we understand what's a Pepe Mimi coin had a crazy I'm lost the word. I can't say the word.
Spike increase.
Spike, yeah, spike.
Yeah.
Crazy spike over the weekend.
I think they said it was like a 5 million% increase, something bizarre.
So this one coin, like I said, it made a lot of people millionaires real quick.
Yeah.
Like that fast. And yes, when you lesser coins, it becomes a game.
It does. It does. And how much are you willing to put into these lower
Exactly.
coins, you know?
So like I said, one guy sold a car. I think it was a 2022 Honda Civic. I don't know what the price he sold it for. They said, but if you give it, but estimate, say he got it on the lower end of 35,000, and he bought stack coins, Tanatoshi coins. Ain't worth nothing.
Right.
But hoping they can at least reach a half a penny, half a cent.
Yeah, you know, I always like investments like that because it's so intriguing to me when they're that low, because I feel like the room for increase is a lot higher versus the room for decrease. Like the only way the room for decrease at that point is if the coin just goes out of existence practically. You know what I mean? So it does feel like you have a lot better of a chance, I would say personally. Like that's just how my brain works. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe it does work differently. But like my initial thought would be those lower investments aren't a bad investment to make realistically.
Really? Because the coin could go away.
It could go away. It could go away.
And you $30,000 in the hole.
But that's the thing, is it would have to go away as a whole. You're not going to really lose a lot of, you know what I mean, lose a lot by it going lower once it's already so low. I just think buying in low is really, really good.
I mean, of course, I would say that in concept, like anything, you buy low, sell high. What assets are you willing to give away just to get crypto?
You know, it depends on what situation you're in, you know. Everybody's different. We just saw somebody give away a car for crypto, you know. Maybe not me, but I don't know. It depends. If you got a nice 2-3 cars, maybe you don't need that Honda, so you just get rid of that Honda for it.
Or what happened? That was the only car he had, and he said, "You know what? I believe in this coin because I see what happened to Pepe Mimi coin. I want to take that. I'm going to take that chance."
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's all about taking the risk, right, and rolling the dice.
Like I said, from two different sides. Like you look from my side, yo, what a dumbass. I mean,
yeah.
I apologize, donkey butt. What a donkey butt. Like, yo, why you doing this? And in hindsight, he said, yo, like I said, 4 or 5 months later, that yo, I didn't come up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you know, it's the analogy that I made earlier. 4th down and 8 on his own side of the field. If he converts 4th and 8, the coach is a genius. But if he doesn't convert 4th and 8, his job might be out the door the next year. You know what I'm saying? It's all about, you know. I always feel like not to judge people that take the risk, because you gotta life. Sometimes you gotta take the risk.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, like I said, you see the show, you see the title. The questions I proposed this question to you yesterday, and the people around the office. If you had a chance, so we tell the question down a tad bit. Like when I put out there, I put crazy number out there.
Yeah.
So the title of the question, I said, yo, would you better take $100 million cash, tax free, or 20 Bitcoins every year for 5 years? You know, 100 million, you want to take 100 million.
Yeah.
So we tailed it down, we put some parameters around the question, and now let's see. if you are you willing to take $5 million of cash, but you have to invest in real estate. You cash out in 5 years versus you rather take 20 Bitcoins every year for 5 years.
And you end up with a total of 100 Bitcoins.
In the 5 year, and in the fifth year of the 5 million, you could cash out.
Right. Right. We had talked about all the factors that go into this,
Mhm.
right? Yeah. So like for example, we were talking about like if you're going to take the 5 mil cash and invest in the real estate, like something you have to think about is how many tenants are you going to have? How much work? How many employees are you going to have hired to go work on these buildings with something go wrong? And then more importantly, how much are those fixes going to cost, right? Where this is where I think I personally would choose the Bitcoin is because, and you know, Twitter was interesting. We got a lot of mixed results. It was definitely literally down the seam. So I would go with the Bitcoin because I feel like even though you're taking a risk, the Bitcoin is like just passive when you really think about it, right? Like once I invest in the Bitcoin, there's nothing I have to do with that, like real estate. I don't have to keep up, see how my tenants are doing. I have to go fix this, go fix that. Phone's ringing for this. Can't even enjoy your life. The Bitcoin, I'm sitting there living beautifully, you know what I mean?
But based off what? Are we basing this number that Bitcoin's going to reach 100K by the end of 2024?
I mean, that would be the hope, of course. That's what you make the investment hoping for.
Or like I said, I'm feeling different. I could go for the real estate property. I can go for the crypto. And here's why I'm feeling different because, like I said, if Bitcoin, I'm not fizzle out, but it decreased in value, I'm at.
Yeah.
Like I'm stuck with this. I mean, stuck in a way that okay, I got the crypto for free, but my return is not there.
Right.
But you give me the property. Let's say I take that $5 million. I go to prime locations around the United States and get property. Let's say I just go to New York City and say, hey, I get five buildings, 5 floors. Each floor has 4 units each floor, range from 1 to 3 bedrooms. So there's 5 buildings, 4 floors. That's 100 units.
Roughly, yeah.
100 units right there. So let's say you charge rent in today's market. Just to be fair,
which is a good market.
Just to be fair, like normal rent in New York City, the average rent in New York City is over $2,000.
Yeah.
So let's say I do 18 across the board, 1,800 across the board. So trust the calculator.
Times 100, that's going to be at 180,000
a month.
A month. But again, this applies. How many fixes are you going to have to do for a month? Are you going to hire a mechanic full time, or are you going to try to find a mechanic that repairs on the spot? Like, here's the question: is how many people are going to want to be a mechanic and not get paid a 40-hour-a-week salary? You know what I mean? That's something you have to think about.
Yeah.
Then on that case, because I don't know how to fix houses. I don't know if you know how to fix houses.
No.
We're gonna.
You can just people that know how to fix it, but again, I could cash out that. So let's say 180. I take 10% out of that.
Yeah.
I'm good. Every month, 10% out of that.
10% out of it, yeah.
Then, like I said, then me gambling on crypto, like I said, hoping that it'll reach, like I said, it'll reach 100K by the end of 2024. Then I can see, all right, they got 20 of these bad boys.
So if you took 10% of 1,800 or 180K every year, you'd have 18,000 a month, right? 18,000. You times that by 12, you're gonna have roughly 200K every year. And I guess so you'd make $1 million out of the real estate, and then you'd also cash out on the real estate after that 5 years.
Yeah.
So the question is will Bitcoin outpace what you're putting aside? You know what I mean? That's what you really have to ask yourself is, would Bitcoin outweigh what you're putting away for yourself?
I don't know. They can't. Bitcoin. So can crypto outpace real estate?
That's the question, right? I mean, listen, this is something interesting. I was talking because I love talking about these topics outside of
Yeah.
work as well. So I was talking with my brother about this topic, and I was like, don't you think people had the same conversations about the stock market some years ago? Like, stock market won't work long term. This makes no sense. This, that. People had these same conversations. This isn't really, it's a new topic, right? But it's not new in regards of we've been here.
Yes.
We've done this, you know? So that's why I have a lot of high stock and faith into crypto myself personally, is because we've been here, we've seen this. It's taken off. I mean, I had somebody, like I was telling you when I came in here today, I had somebody in Discord yesterday that I was playing World of Warcraft with, and they told me they invested into the Pepe meme coin. And they made a good amount of money off the Pepe meme coin. They were happy last night. I was like, hey, you talking about the Pepe meme coin? I was just looking that up today, dude. No way. And yeah, he told me he made off really, really good. So
like I said, I don't know. Like, you're right, because this is the conversation was had before. They said the conversation is not over. It's not a new conversation.
exactly,
It's just different flavors.
exactly.
So when you come to investing, right? I'm not giving no more financial advice or investing advice. You want to have a split up portfolio. You want to have real estate, stocks and bonds, and you want to throw crypto in it now.
Right.
You want to have that. So again, the stocks and bonds outpace real estate.
Right. Right. So I guess even the question to ask moving forward is like in 10, 15 years, will crypto outpace the stock market? Something crazy to think
I mean,
about.
I don't think so.
No, I don't either. But it's a thought.
It's a thought, yeah.
It's a thought, you know, it really is. I think the thing is, especially when you talk about NFTs too, that's something that the stock market can't really offer. It's something that's essentially tangible, right?
Yes.
Essentially something you could show off, something you could show to people. I think that's gonna play a huge factor into the market as well. I think that's gonna take off, that concept.
NFTs, I believe NFTs. If people don't know, NFT is non-fungible token. I don't know. So like I said, right now it's a drunken ape or a ape high on drugs as a JPEG. And that's what you see.
It's crazy, but it's taken off, and I mean, just
based off hype and demand from the influence or celebrity that's put their name behind it.
absolutely, yeah.
So with NFTs, it's like, is it serious? But if you think, let's think back. Let's rewind the clock. Let's look at video games. Are video games the original NFTs?
And we talked about this, right? Because like you talk about all these games, they have their currencies, right?
Yeah.
I was talking about World of Warcraft earlier. They have gold. You play a game like Fortnite, they have V-Bucks. That's all virtual currency, essentially.
Yes.
That gets you virtual things. And then it would even take a step further. Is a Fortnite skin an NFT? It's something you paid money for virtually. It's a virtual asset that you paid money for. It makes it that you can represent. It makes you think, like, do NFTs exist beyond what we call NFTs, and we just don't call them NFTs? You know, it's funny to think about. It really is.
That's a good question. You're right, because like I said, if you play in Fortnite and you do buy the skin season 1 and you don't make it no more, is that considered an NFT?
Right. Right. You know, and you are seeing a lot of video games embrace the NFT market. You're starting to see it more and more. And I know a couple games, like there's a game called Big Time out right now that I was lucky enough to get early access to. But I mean, their market is very, very strong for NFTs. Essentially, you get armor for your characters that have more rarity as you go. They're NFTs, and the more, like, you could sell them for real crypto though. You know what I mean? Like real cryptocurrency.
Which one? Any cryptocurrency or just the one? It's probably tilts like Ethereum.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe it's Ethereum. I could double check on that. I'm not sure what exact cryptocurrency be. I think essentially it's a crypto market within the game, but you actually can cash out on the real crypto. It's complex for sure. It's a little bit different. Again, it's a new concept, and I think the difference you're starting to see now in that market is they came out with like these non-playable games that were very stagnant. You couldn't do much in the world, but they still had NFTs. I think once you start getting real playable games with NFTs that like are really good for gamers first, I think that's where you'll see like NFTs skyrocket. in my personal opinion.
All right, so like I said, so if we look at the concept, and the NFT's been around for like what, 10, 15 years, but it wasn't called an NFT. Like I said, you're spending virtual money. That's what you consider crypto is a digital asset. You're spending real money for a digital currency, and you're putting it into, let's say, if you're playing NBA 2K, so my player buying all the wardrobe,
the VC, yeah, virtual. It's literally called virtual currency. That is the name of NBA's currency. I mean, if that doesn't scream crypto and virtual currency, I don't really know what does at that point. That's kind of.
But I think it's a workaround to say, hey, we're not really. Like, you gotta come back and revisit that question because, like I said, or you gotta get someone that dives in NFTs, bring them on the show, and you just dive into that.
Yeah.
And I find it very interesting. Like that's and like, can you consider the vision of video game NFT?
So interesting to think about. Even all these video games really incorporate very similar NFT concepts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it may as well be an NFT just without the name NFT on it, right? You know what I mean? It's the same process, the same essentially reward, but not stagnant, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a picture; it's more like something you could wear and move around with your virtual characters. But you see it all around the world, honestly. And I think that's going to be interesting when they come out with regulations and everything, and they really look at like what is an NFT?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I think it makes you question like, is that going to be brought up? Like, are they going to bring up things like that?
We will, not yet.
Yeah.
Right now, they're trying to figure out crypto.
Right, first, yeah. It makes me wonder though for the future. Like,
then NFT is going to come into play.
Yeah, and then it just makes me wonder, are they going to bring up things like that? And then, like, could they end up changing things like V-Bucks and things like that to NFT and cryptocurrency? Like,
it can.
It can, right? It's actually very possible, is what I feel like. Yeah, not only can it happen, it feels like it's possible. Like, I would say statistics kind of favor that, not by much, but it's either NFTs aren't NFTs or the virtual currency and virtual stuff that you wear is an NFT, I feel like.
Well, I'll put in a question in the chat.
No, you're good.
So people, let us know in the chat. Like, and from the first question there, will you take $5 million, but you have to invest into real estate, and you cash out in the 5th year, or you take 20 Bitcoins every year for 5 years?
I'm curious what people say. Twitter had some awesome feedback.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised, like because we did put the real estate parameters on there. We tell you get $10 million straight up cash, tax free.
Yeah.
People chose the Bitcoin.
They did. I think when I saw, I think it was 52 to 48% or something, something very close to that. It was wildly down the scene.
I was surprised people that said, yeah, people rather gamble on the Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Like I said, like I said before, they're basing it off the predicament of it's going to reach 100K by the end of next year.
Yeah. So there's a lot of factors about it, of course. Again, like the amount you have to put into real estate, and then, like you said, the dependence of Bitcoin to go up or down, and you'd have to see what happens. But me personally, like I said, I think on this topic, I'd be the one to roll the dice, which usually isn't my style, but I think on this one I would roll the dice. It's just, again, the amount of work and the unpredictability even in real estate. How much am I going to have to fix? How many guys am I going to have to hire? Where am I going to send them? And just a lot. That Pepe meme coin though, wow, I mean, I can't believe the increase on that. That was actually really big news. That was the only other news I feel like we had for like a 2-day stretch.
Yeah.
From
okay, so it happened Friday. And people was going crazy.
Yeah, I think the Binance story was just so huge that people like locked into that. To be honest with you,
like I said, because the drop of Bitcoin as well.
Yeah, 2.6% is a big percent for 24 hours.
So like you said, most people said it was tied to that. Because like I said, but most of the factors happened that week. So you had the interest rate increase that the government proposed. You had the lawsuit with the SEC and Coinbase,
Yeah.
and then Binance. So you can say, hey, Binance caused this, or you can say, all three actions that happened at the same time caused the drop.
Yeah.
It was kind of hard to predict that as well.
Now we also only have a couple days to hear back from the SEC with Coinbase speaking about that. So maybe we hear something about that by Thursday as well. We haven't heard anything yet on that topic outside of what we already knew last week. So we're bound to hear something. I feel like this week for sure. I would say by the weekend.
Yeah.
I don't think this goes in on Monday. To be honest with you, I could be wrong, but maybe they take as long as possible. that tends to be the way sometimes as well.
Well, most definitely. So everyone, again, let us know in the comments, in the chat, what your thoughts. Like I said, which one you choose. When you choose crypto, you're going to choose the 5 million for real estate. Let us know how you feel about NFTs, how you feel about anything else. Like I said, we got more content coming out. You're playing with different times. You can't go back to the 12 o'clock. The 12:30, 1. I don't know. We were playing with different times to get more people come in. But I think 12 o'clock.
I think 12 or 1 on the dot, either one of those more even times usually.
Yeah, 12:30.
Yeah.
Anywhere, people probably on lunch. Listen,
People realistically could have thought 12 today still, and
Yeah.
for 12, so we weren't live, unfortunately.
they
Yeah.
say, turn this off. If you watching your TV, turn the TV
They
off.
were disappointed to not see us live at 12.
Things that we play with different times, different semantics, and it's like I said, we're still building this out.
Absolutely, and let us know in the comments, what time you guys think is best. We'd like to hear feedback on when you guys are able to watch. We want to reach as many of you guys as possible, of course. So, whenever we can work around your schedule. I mean, we're here all day on Tuesday, so we're down to go live when you guys are around.
Definitely. Everyone, I know this is a short show. Not that many news happen, like you said,
very slow week.
Very slow week in crypto.
Definitely.
And so everyone, this is the Crypto Fix. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell. Share the content. I'm your man, Ant.
And I'm Mike.
We see you next week.
Thank you guys for joining us. Appreciate you.
And we out.